Your dignity, even your resources, just that He will restore. You say wisdom can become the light. You say wisdom can become the light of Africa. You say wisdom can become the light. You say wisdom can become the light of Africa. You show me the fruit of your land, the fruit of the land, the fruit of your land. Hey, you show me the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land. Hey, and never will be stressed. Okay, so good afternoon to you. Good afternoon on this Wednesday, April the 3rd, 2024. So, as we promised you since this week, or since last week, we are in the month of April. 3 days in the month of April will never be forgotten by Liberians. The last time we did a documentary, we did it on each day. That is April 6, April 12, April 14. But since some of the days are falling on the weekend and we will not be here, so we're giving you 2.5 hours. In fact, 2 hours exactly from 3 to 5 p.m. We go into the days of April one by one, and then we remind ourselves, and questions will be asked: where were you on this day? What lesson have we learned? Have we learned anything? As a matter of fact, we're 176 years old. So you see, all of those days have come and gone. December 25th or 24th, 1989 has come and gone. April 12th gone, November 12th gone. April 6th has come and gone. So we still Liberia. Hey, don't forget some of those who actively participated are still around, and you will hear from some of the voices. Some of them dead, some of them alive. Those who are alive are equally competing for job with those who were not around then. So good afternoon to you. Liberia is on the rising. Good afternoon. Those of you catching us online, it's on Real TV. And those of you catching us on air, it is on 96.1. It's going to be a great day of production or presentation. 3 days of production, 1 day of presentation. And then
You can now ask yourself whether we've moved forward since we told ourselves apart. Have we moved forward? These and much more questions are coming up. All you need to do, if you were caught within the crossfire on any of these days or you are an eyewitness, just send me the text. You don't have to worry. I have unlimited call credits. I will call you. You will give your testimonial, and I'll ask you, what lesson have you learned? I'm talking about April 6th. I'm talking about April 12th. And I'm talking about April 14th. April 6th, fracas in Monrovia. April 12th, the overthrow of the president and execution. April 14th, the arrest riot. Before we go into it, let me prepare you. This is it.
It's April again in Liberia. April, a month that reminds us of some of Liberia's worst historical period. April 6. And as we surround, as I surrounded still that's last November. That's April 12th, the coup took place. April 12th. That week the tension that was imposed started. They have raised the level of torturing. April 14th. It's April again in Liberia. April, a month that reminds us of some of Liberia's worst historical period. April 6. And he asked me to surrender. I said, I surrender to Mr. Taylor to be slaughtered. That's the last thing I will ever do. That's the last thing I will ever do. April 12th. The coup took place. April 12th. That week began. The tension that was imposed started. They have raised the level of torturing. In April 14th.
There's been a lot of trouble in the Liberian capital, Monrovia, over the weekend. We all
Okay, so you got it? And yes, your humble servants will do just what we've loved to do. But first, we have to take our commercials. Orange, of course, is the one powering this production. No one does it better than Orange. Whenever I tell you I have unlimited calls, credit, data, or airtime, obviously it has to be Orange. Starting today. Why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily?
why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
Right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch.
Here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from your mobile phone. A simple and fast solution that is always available to ensure a permanent access to your Orange Money services. Anywhere, anytime, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account from your mobile phone to cash out, to recharge, to transfer, to pay, to buy. To subscribe to this service, go to your bank branch office partner to the Orange Money service. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
You are watching To Pay My Taxes and Fees Easily, brought to you by Orange and LRA.
Alfred, I'm traveling soon, so I need to get my birth certificate. I need to go pay my fees, but it would take too much time.
Alfonso, no worries. Thanks to Orange Money and LRA, there is a convenient way to pay for the fees. It is fast and easy. We can now pay the fees for birth certificate, marriage certificate, travel clearance, fire inspection, and business registration renewal from the comfort of our homes and workplaces.
Really? But tell me, Alfred, how does it work?
First, go to any Orange store, POS, or Orange Money agent to open your Orange Money account and put money in your wallet. The service is available in both USD and Liberian dollars. Then to pay your fees, dial *144# to enter your Orange Money wallet. In your Orange Money wallet, select your currency option, for example, USD. Then select Pay Taxes and Fees. Next, you select Non-Tax Payment. Then select the service you want to pay for. In your case, it's birth certificate. After that, you select option 1 to pay.
We cry for love, Liberia, oh our Creator. Never should we ever steal or respect ourselves as belligerent forces. The money we use to make gun makers richer. Can we use that money to provide pipe-borne water in all hamlets, villages, cities? What's about electricity? By popular demand, by popular demand. This one, as we prepared for 3 o'clock.
Your family members abroad need to send you money? Worry no more. Henceforth, receive your international money transfers from Europe, USA, and South Africa made via Western Union, MoneyGram, and many more directly into your Orange Money account. At Orange Money, we are family.
Orange Money.
Your family members abroad need to send you money? Worry no more. Henceforth, receive your international money transfers from Europe, USA, and South Africa made via Western Union, MoneyGram, and many more directly into your Orange Money account. At Orange Money, we are family.
Orange Money.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
Right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch,
here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from your mobile phone. A simple and fast solution that is always available to ensure a permanent access to your Orange Money services. Anywhere, anytime, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account from your mobile phone to cash out, to recharge, to transfer, to pay, to buy. To subscribe to this service, go to your bank branch office, partner to the Orange Money service. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch,
Here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from
So, what a way to remind ourselves. In 2 minutes, we'll tell you what all happened and whether we've learned any lesson. Okay, as we prepared, let me welcome my co-producer, Magdalene SAAH. At the dying minute, we didn't see the possibility of this, but she encouraged me and said we can work under pressure. I trust your ability. We can make it. And yes, indeed, Maggie, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back this.
Yes, good to see you, man. I thought I would have been here alone. What was it? It's traffic?
Yeah, some traffic help me over there, but I have to use my driving skills.
Or maneuvering between vehicles and
No,
stuff
no,
like
no,
that?
no. No, please, I won't go there. I beg you. The police are listening right now.
Oh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I was careful. We found our way back. I mean, we were in a queue.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. And you got it?
Yeah. So how was your night?
It was good, peaceful,
Okay.
except that the heat. And I jumped out in celebrating heaven when that heavy downpour of rain uh, descended upon us, though very characterized by strong wind, a violent
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah.
But we made it, man. The temperature drastically dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm?
Yes, it did. Yeah, I was a little bit terrified by that violent
Mhm.
wind, and yeah, sometimes when those kind of things happen,
Mhm.
yeah, the the aftermath can be somehow. But yes, I was just praying in my little corner and say, "Oh, Father, please take control." Yeah, but it was serious, very very
What were
serious.
you see? What?
Because when you
A
are up,
strong wind?
yeah, when you are up and the breeze is beautiful.
You live in an elevator building? You live in an upstairs building?
You have been asking the, you have been asking me the question almost like I know 3 4 years now. Yes, get it.
No, but just clear it once for all today. You live in an elevator building.
No, I went to. Yeah, yeah, man. You want everybody to know where somebody is at. Yeah,
No,
man.
but you the one saying it. You say
No, but I
when
mean,
you are up.
2 years ago you said the same thing.
Chief, I beg you. Let's move on.
Yeah, we gotta move on.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the production is set. Thank you for your courage.
And thanks for your hard work.
Yes. You know,
Mhm.
I love to work under pressure. This almost 60% of this production was not ready by 1 o'clock. And I had given up. And she said no. She said no. In fact, she bought me with a loaf of bread. She said, just eat, you will gain the energy. So here we are. But first, this is it. This is what we promise our people.
People again in Liberia, April of month that reminds us of some of the
Thank you so much for joining us. This is State of the Nation. What is the time? 3 minutes after 3, we go strictly into, and we've recognized all of you, especially Sir George S. Tembe, you there in Hanover, Germany, a Liberian labor expert who was just here 2-3 days ago. He had come to make some contact to see whether the government could ask, all labor ministry could ask for his expertise, but he was never allowed to see the minister. This is State of the Nation. It is April again. We are here to bring to you all the happenings on April 6, April 12, and April 14. But this is the reverse. We will start with April 6. We take a momentary break. Then we talk to you. Then we bring in April 14 because we know 12 comes before 14, but April 14 even preceded April 12. It led to April 12. So April 12 will be the last. Listeners, we are vast listeners. Listeners' discretion is advised, especially on some of the audio we're about to play, especially during the April 14 and the April 12. When we are about to play, we announce your listening discretion advice. Okay, thank you. Here we go. April 6, 1996, conflict in Monrovia, Liberia, was a notorious event during the country's long civil war. Here's what led to the violent episode. 1. Charles Taylor, a warlord, attempted to arrest rival warlord Roosevelt Johnson on April 6, 1996. This action sparked intense street fighting in Monrovia. Number 2. The combined forces of the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, the NPFL, and the United Liberation Movement for Liberia for Democracy, ULIMO-K, led by Taylor and Ahaji Kroma respectively, were involved in this destructive conflict. Number 3. The fighting resulted in the destruction of Monrovia, with the city engulfed in flames. Hundreds of unarmed civilians and children sought refuge at the free port of Monrovia enduring desperate conditions without food or resources. Number 4. Some managed to escape on a vessel called the MV Bog Challenge, which later began leaking water and faced severe SOS circumstances at sea. The United Nations intervened and the vessel was taken to the port of San Pedro, Cote d'Ivoire for repairs, where Liberians were treated as commodities. The event of April 6, 1996 left an indelible mark on the memories of many Liberians, forever shaping their experiences and choices during those tumultuous times. That is it. What do we take out of here? Liberians were treated like commodities at the port of San Pedro because the vessel on which they were riding on to Ghana had developed leakage. The Ivorian government initially rejected. United Nations had to use its international instrument. And the Ivorian government said, we have to inspect the vessel because some of these people who are on this troubled vessel are members of the belligerent forces. The United Nations won and the vessel was repaired and took off for Ghana. That is exactly what happened. And you heard the promo. One of the reasons for some of these fighting was reckless quest for power. There was a death reported on the 20th Street end, on the beach end of 20th Street. And apparently, close to a home of a Ulimbo general, Ulimbo J general. Mr. Taylor, as member of the council, 5-man council, and Kroma, Professor Ahaji Kroma, peace be to his ashes. Those two forces were fighting against one another, but they sought to unite to fight Roosevelt Johnson, Ulimbo J faction of the Ulimbo rebel movement. Ulimbo J resisted the arrest of Roosevelt Johnson and retreated on Camp Johnson Road. Camp Johnson Road now became a front line, and the belligerent forces didn't care whether civilians would be caught. During the fighting, a United Nations radio or handset or walkie-talkie was stolen by Ulimbo J forces, and they used it to contact the United States Embassy. This is an interaction between Ulimbo J forces and the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia. Okay, that handset was stolen. I don't know from where. And they used the handset, the stolen handset, to contact the U.S. Embassy. And the U.S. Embassy, as if they wanted to really talk to Ulimo J, commander, the chairman, Roosevelt Johnson. But this communication pressing is saying unless it is 5 o'clock of that day, you will not talk to Roosevelt Johnson. And the American corner said, do you understand what you're saying? The ambassador wants to make contact. I think Ambassador Donald Booth wants to make contact with General Johnson, and you're telling me, do you know what you're doing or what you're saying? You know the repercussion? Let's follow it for a few minutes, then we go to another one. All these communications taking place were at the detriment of civilians. And some of these people are now rewarded with lucrative jobs. Then the civilians are the one now saying we want war crime court, and some are using their purchasing power to thwart the plan to establish a war crime court. All of these communication, but that time, deaths were all reported in the street. But this Ulimo J fighter is still being adamant that the ambassador cannot speak to Roosevelt Johnson. You hear that? This Ulimo general is still being adamant and cannot allow Roosevelt Johnson to talk to the U.S. Embassy. Eventually, the fighting got out of control. And it is the same United States Embassy that had to airlift General Roosevelt Johnson. They had to airlift So I'm trying to get the side of the U.S. embassy where they That's Reginald Goodrich, spokesperson of the transitional government at the time, acknowledging the power of the United States. Of course, the helicopter has just landed in the compound of the U.S. Embassy, and Mr. Johnson is being airlifted under heavy gunfire. Under heavy gunfire, he was rescued, taken to Ghana, but the civilians who were caught between the Caesar were never given that moment. Okay, so you heard it. The sound you hear there is the helicopter under a United States Guardian that came down to lift Roosevelt Johnson to Ghana. Upon reaching in Ghana, General Johnson granted an interview to a Ghanaian media outlet. This is what he had to say.
We've been read by the General Edwards to attend the Committee of Nine Conference on Liberia because there's a total breakdown on the order in Liberia. There is no government on the grounds because of Mr. Taylor and Vermont irresponsible decisions that they made. And this is the reason why we're at Accra. Tomorrow we look forward to the beginning of the meeting. We can call the Undersecretary of State for African Affairs, Mr. Bush, give the United States government position that they want a ceasefire and want Liberia to be free of arms, and that all the wrong parties in Liberia should attend this meeting. And the Channel Edwards and the African heads of state also are concerned about the situation in Mongolia. That's why we organized this summit. And I think Mr. Taylor calling for a unilateral ceasefire is in the right direction. And he asked me to surrender. I said, I surrender to Mr. Taylor to be slaughtered. That's the last thing I will ever do. That's the last thing I will ever do, to surrender to Mr. Taylor, Mr. Kumar. We fought them for 6 years and stopped them from going to power. And even during this crisis, 3 attempts he made to go to the mansion to declare himself president. The last one he went, he killed 6 ECOMO soldiers up in the mansion. That's when they were besieged at the mansion. I surrendered the mansion. And had it been for the forces of the ECOMO that was at the mansion ground, and we didn't want to get in confrontation with the ECOMO, I said, well, they would stay there and we would grab them. That's why we didn't go in for him. And later on, they maneuvered the ways through, and Kumar escaped. He went to Guinea somewhere. He ran away and went. And Taylor, right now, Taylor convoy, the convoy were packed at the mansion for 3 days. They couldn't move. All the buildings were on, over 50-something cars. The buildings were on 3 days. They couldn't move. I was going to catch him alive. They were not going to torture him. We were going to show him to the world who Mr. Taylor is. So I think he better use this opportunity to come to this conference. It'll be better for him.
Thank you very much, Mr. John.
Okay, records available to State of the Nation shows that Mr. Taylor did not go to Ghana for that meeting, rather sent an emissary or delegation to represent his side of the story. And yes, as Professor Haji Kroma, then Yulimo Jacob head, was equally not in attendance. They all believed that fingers would have been pointed at them before attempting to arrest another rebel general during a transitional period on the basis that they wanted him arrested to face trial for murder. Interestingly, they were equally committing murder. People were dying, and they were trying to try another general for murder. April 6, 1996. Where were you? I had just passed on to 12th grade from 11th grade. When the war broke out, I had to sell mango or plum to fetch food for myself. Where were you? Before we open the lines to tell us your experience, this is our national song. Liberia or individuals will come and go, but this song is still on.
Freedom raised her glowing form on Sorrow's burdens hide. She sat within a dome of our night. Let's glory stars of the stars. The song of liberty. As she sang from the waking it's that shield of golden flame. She lived in a proud name. Embraced her people, long for their destiny.
And you know, eventually Roosevelt Johnson came down with stroke and died eventually. May his soul rest in peace. Professor Ahaji Kroma died 3 years ago. May his soul rest in peace. And Mr. Taylor is serving a 50-year jail term, convicted by the International Criminal Court for his involvement in the bloody civil war in neighboring Sierra Leone, not in his own country. So the Bible says, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. 077-5144278. For the next, what time is it?
It's 27 minutes after 3.
27 minutes after 3. So we started at 3:30, and that will take us up to for 10 minutes, and then we come to April 14. This caller is already on the line. Hello.
Good afternoon, President Madeline. This is Pastor BK.
Yeah, simple. Where were you on April 6, 1996?
My brother, it's something funny. I was in shoe factory and prior to move to GSA Road to get closer to the clinic to put Rural Health Center where I work. And so my mother was in shoe factory. So at the time I wanted to go back to my mother to see how she was doing. $205. So I said, let me try with the money. When anything happens to us, I'll be able to use this money to be able to buy decent because we fit everywhere now. I took that money and put it in my fridge. When I was walking to NBC, the chicken was very heavy. So I decided to come back. 25 hours USA family. And that was the only money I took my food in the room, looking all over my body. I put on the and I started sweating because that was the only money I had.
Okay, let me hold you there. What lesson have you learned? What do you think Liberians have learned and should never come back?
We should never go back to bullets and guns, but rather we should do the talking. That's what we should always do. When something is happening, we should go through our own civil rights. Talk, demonstration, peaceful demonstration, but not to pick up bullets and guns to shoot one another.
Thank you.
It is not good.
Thank you very much. Next caller. Where were you on April 6th?
Okay, just readjust and read that.
Where were you April 6th? We're in the month of April. Rwanda is equally memorializing April because the genocide took place in April. Ours, multiple armed conflict in the month of April, and we are doing a joint production of all the 3 days. State of the Nation. No one does it better than this platform. 077-514-4270. Where were you? 1996. Makes out?
Yeah.
So when you're calling, you...
Okay, I got this person.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
So why you can't leave from the radio, my brother? Okay, thank you. Let's hear you. Where were you April 6th?
I came out right at the center that was in my place.
What kind of center? What kind of, you say you were in the center. What kind of center?
Oh,
okay, but then you were very close to where the gunfire started from 20th Street. 20th Street, Chief. From 20th Street. So tell me, what lesson did they teach you, or has it taught you?
It taught me that violence is not the way forward, because at the time, people lost their life. We walk on the road to see that the Lord came out. And it was not easy for us.
Okay, thank you so much. What's your name? Okay, Jerry. Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Let's take another one. April 6, 1996. Hello, caller. Hello? Yes, let's hear you. What's your name? To beat Mr. Peabody, the journalist.
Yeah, they wouldn't, but another one.
So what lesson did you learn, or have you learned from fighting war? I mean, confusion, conflict, war. Okay, thank you, thank you, Avinko. Thank you, thank you, Avinko. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Taking more calls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. No. Can we can keep it on. So 077753819 07751444278. Hello. Yes, your name. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, Parrot Street Junction there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
hmm. Wow.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. What lesson have you learned? I know it's better as a result. You left your profession and you wanted to practice. So what do you do right now? Let's go quickly.
Hmm.
So you support War Crime Court. Okay, thank you so much. That is lesson you learn, and he's trying to prevent another round of armed conflict. This caller is on the line. Hello. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear you. Let's hear
Yes,
you.
Chief.
Yes, April 6th, to be precise, for high school, the last batch, 1989, December 15th, on Broadway, Philip Pavilion. And then the war came December 24th.
No, we're discussing April 6th right now.
Okay. So April 6th, I was in the rural area. Because when the war came, drove her out in the rural area. Then come April 6th, I was more or less constricted. I was constricted, but then I was already, quote unquote, rebel. The anti-hero in the rural area. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5.
Chief, April 6th, where were you? Where were you April 6th? Professor, April 6th, what is your experience, Professor, April 6th?
My experience, most of my life.
Professor, you seem lost. Thank you so much. Just keep listening. We're coming to the moment that you want to explain. This is April 6th. We are discussing right now, State of the Nation. Next caller.
Okay, thank you. Hello? Yeah, please step away from your monitor, getting some feedback. Okay, so you're following the discussion. So what's your... Okay,
so if you can't cut that radio off, you will leave this line. What's your name? What is your name? Mr. Banto? Please move away from that receiver completely, or you cut it off. You cut it off? Are you there?
I think it's...
Okay. So we can... Yeah, you should hold yourself responsible, actually, because we gave you the leverage. You there now?
Okay, yeah, he's still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So April 6th, where were you? What is your personal experience? Okay. Thank you. You learn your lesson, and you don't want any more repetition of it. Thank you so much, Mr. Banto.
Okay.
We'll take 2 more and do the transition into April 14th. Next caller. Hello. Hello. Yes, sir. What's your name?
I'm calling from Kingsley, David Tobago.
Mr. Warity, where were you on April 6, 1996?
April 6, 1996, I was residing in Matadi at the intersection of and New Matadi.
Okay, your personal experience.
My personal experience, actually, I think you know, when it comes to Ulumo J, I think I will tell you know what I'm telling was. So actually, we were well protected by one group of people, you know, for the war faction. My experience was just seeing this and yes, I was very in the movie and I will tell you, I said, God, thank you. That there was nothing difficult for when they were mother and first sister were all in the house and nothing went wrong with us. But actually, we have one faction in the taking war and no penetrate Nigeria.
Okay. Did you learn any lesson?
My lesson there is that just imagine that time. My parents all came out of college. We had opportunity of leaving this country, but the war kept on. Just to celebrate by at the time. Every two year old that wants the festival. So the war already kept them up actually. And get that MP. Someone who have empire with our family.
Thank you. Thank you. Last caller for this segment. Hello. Yeah, let's hear you. What's your name? Let's hear you quickly. Where were you April 6th? What you said? What's the sound of gun again? Oh, that a human being, the gun here thinks so pop, fan pop, fan pop. Oh. Okay, thank you. That is those were stray bullets, not targeted at them, but it was hitting them. Thank you so much for your participation in this production and presentation. We will take we'll take a momentary break,
Okay.
and then come right back. Or we'll come back. It is on April 14. Let me tell you my personal experience. I was then in 11th grade, Advantage High School, and got promoted to 12th grade. And I had a friend in the school, in fact, a classmate, very nice girl. So she got caught up in the barracks, and I was on the old road around the AGM school. She got caught up in the barracks. That day there was a momentary ceasefire, and I risked my life to go in the barrack to get that lady out of the barrack. I walked Charlottetown and then got to Camp Johnson Road, went in the barracks, just opposite the barrack, told her, let's go. And then got my family had left for Ghana, and I said I was going to stay. So we were before coming to Oro, the two of us passed before the University of Liberia, the main entrance. Quiet. No one could be seen. And she got scared, and I told her, you have to be brave. This is life and death. When we reached to where you have Greenland Supermarket, there was a plum tree standing there. An old house was there. The plum tree, I was caught by these guys. There was a buffer zone there. And she told me if we are moving and they ask you who I am, you say I'm your sister. Of course, she was not my sister, my intimate friend. So we reached there and they caught me. They said, who is this lady to you? I said, my sister. So you brave to go and walk on this road, you alone, to go and bring your sister from the barrack. What are you hearing? Oh, you heard that Ekuma wants to launch the barrack. That's why you're going for her, right? I said, no. So I said, the two of us just passed the 12th grade and I want us to be studying together. So they told the girl to go, and the guy had me tied behind, but the tie was not severe. I could move my hand. They tied me onto the plum tree, a young plum tree. Luckily for me, God first, I saw an uncle of mine coming who was fighting for the NPFL. Apparently, he was the head of that checkpoint, but he had gone to take a nap within Don Bosco Polytechnic, not Polytechnic, Don Bosco High School. So and I saw the sleep in his face. He saw me, he said, who tied this man here? This is a boyhood friend from his hometown. Who tied this man here? Nobody could talk. And then he took one of the weapons from one of the checkpoint guy and fired in the head. Still no one could talk. So he fired between one or two legs. Then he said, Grace, who tied you here? Be brave. And I pointed at the guy. He told the guy, he said, you know what? You would have killed this man for nothing. A harmless man like this man got feature. You would have killed him for nothing. You don't, if I read a big like this supermarket, that time the supermarket was not there. If I read a big like this house, you will not identify. So I explained, I said, I was coming with a friend. Then he spoke Lama to me, what kind of friend? Then I told him, he said, my girlfriend. Then I started laughing. Then he said, where is the lady? He said, she's standing at Jogbeta Market there. She said she can't leave. So he himself went there and took the lady and escorted us all the way to 13th Street where Ecomo had the buffer zone. When we crossed, the last thing I ever heard from him was, because you have to go and keep off this zone. This ceasefire will not even show that it will last. By the time we entered the Methodist compound and preparing to go to Matari Estate, fighting open. Artillery began to fire. The rest of it is story. That is my personal experience. If you ask me what you think, yes, I think people should account. People should. Not many of them knew that this thing would have come to an end. Why are we all agitating for them to account for their stewardship or for their association or their actions or inaction during the war? We always like to sing songs that will bring us together, like this one. It is a 2-hour documentary on the 3 memorable days in the month of April as a mark of lessons and a pledge never, never again. Let's resort to wars. The philosopher said wars are harmful than bullets. Bullet takes away life. Wars remain with you all the days of your life. Up next, what led to April 14, the Rest Riot? Oh, wonderful little white chapel there in Logan Town. Courtesy to you. If I did perform recently at the inaugural ceremony of President Joseph Yuma Boakai, Magdalene is now going to tell you what were the fundamental reasons for the 1979 April 14 Rest Riot. Maggie?
Yeah, so the April 14 riot was triggered when a proposal was presented to the Liberian cabinet by the then government agriculture minister Florence Chinoweth with the hope to increase the price of 100 pounds bag of rice from $22 to $26, a $4 increment. So the proposal was seen as an enticement for Liberians themselves to produce more locally grown rice instead of leaving the countryside to travel to the city in search of urban jobs. So should I continue? To search for urban jobs. So when in fact metropolitan employments were scarce and the city was becoming over populated.
Okay. The government in the cabinet meeting, President Tolbert, Agriculture Minister then, peace be to her arches, Florence Chenoweth, was presenting in the cabinet meeting proposing for an increment in the 100-pound bag of rice, the one you refer to as Pusawa Pot 3, Pusawa piebald rice. And the information might have leaked from the cabinet meeting, and then two groups agitating for civil liberty and equal justice: Progressive Alliance of Liberia, PAL, and the Movement for Justice in Africa, MOJA. The face of PAL was Gabriel Bacchus Matthews. And the face for MOJA was Dr. Tubana Tipote. So, what led to April 14? 100-pound bag of rice from $22 to $26. So these two civil society groupings' argument was this increment was not actually to encourage people to revert to growing food or to depopulate the city. It was intended for the elite. They would have raised capital or profits for the increment because they were importing, they were planting, they were processing, and it was just for them. So, April 14, 1979. Where were you? April 14, 1979. Let's hear let's hear a gist of it. What are those things that happened? This one. Sorry, that is wrong. We haven't reached that point yet. We have not reached that point. So the riot is taking place. Police Director Vanny Dempster is in an interview with Ahaji G.V. Krumah, a journalist, a Liberian journalist, who eventually became a rebel leader. But first, this is what happened. Let me get this is Vanny Dempster. First, calling on all able-bodied men of the police. If you are on leave or what, you should assemble. Okay, so the police is denying that there was no death. There were no death. Vanny Dempster. He said all the shootings were being overheard. Let's listen.
Mr. Director, that the only way the people who have been stopped from doing the kinds of things they did was by killing them. That's not what my intent at that all. As I said, we had used tear gas, we had used just about fire and power from the street. Probably there was after the retreat this year, but there was one time where the law enforcement officers opened.
Okay. The government is denying that there was no death, no one shot at any demonstrator or protesters. But the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, was on top of the situation and contradicted the government's version of the riot. Okay, so the BBC is quoting President Tobin as referring to those who organized the protests as satanic, what? Devilish. I need to get our word back again. The president described Burma family and others as this one. Satanic enemies of the state. So, police head is saying there was no death, and the BBC announced that he had a number of people killed, and then the president had to admit, at the end of the day, as part of his compassion, he addressed the country, expressing condolences to the bereaved families. An apologetic president. An apologetic president. This tone is a contrast to what I'm about to play. This is how, for the first time in many years, President Tobin sounded. In a more defiant tone, this is how he received the news of the rest riot.
He depended God for sending his blessed son to die for us and moving out to a resurrection. Evil men want to kill God's children, the people of God, the people of Nigeria, destroy the prophet. And then God is not on the throne, he's on the throne. He sent our God. But he said, watch, while I need to fight, and pray. I'm a prayer maker and I'm a fighter. There must be justice. I am controlled, my friends, in all I do by the laws of our land. And those laws are promises to uphold and defend, as well as the Constitution. Those are the laws that will govern us day by day.
President William Richard Tobin Jr. on the evening of April 14, angrily addressing as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, stay where you are, defend your country. Defend your country. Some of the aftermath of the rest riot, as announced by the only state radio at the time, even up to now, sorry, let me just say the state radio, ELBC, carried this public service announcement. And then you hear people that you still see around today. Gabriel Bacchus Matthews is deceased. Commander Wizard is still alive. Former River G County Senator John Stewart, once upon a time a commissioner on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. A bounty was placed on their head. Everyone funding them should elect a government, and you could get 5,000 United States dollars. How it all play out? Well, Burma family was not member of SAAH, but member of the Movement for Justice in Africa. What role did they play? How were they calculating? Is the question TRC chairman then Jerome Radio asks each Burma family.
Reflecting on the events of March and April, then the outcome of all of those activities, I was just wondering how would you describe the entire episode? Was it a miscalculated risk, or was it a calculated gamble to achieve a political objective?
Well, like I said before in my discuss, I think it was a tactical gamble by those who felt that they could mobilize numbers by exploiting a very simple issue, like the price of rice. But I am convinced that all of these people were looking forward to the elections of 1982. Democratic elections have to do with a question of numbers. And if the question of rights mobilize the people on the side of a group, so be it. So be it. And I think we in Moja decided to identify with the brothers and sisters in PAM because we too were making a calculation that we must not be seen standing aside. Because what happens in the PAL and all part of this, and some of them have backed down to say, no, we increase the price of rice. The masters would say, the only man who talks for us here is Bob. I think that was a tactical gamble. I think the mistake in all of this was that a prophet was not heard in his own country. It's out of report. Commissioners to go back and read that pamphlet by this noble Liberian. They stood still. Read very carefully. That is your prophet. You know, in Judaism, the people of Israel, that prophets are always sent. Prophets are always sent by God. You can accept prophets or reject prophets. The only man was a prophet. It's possible the history of Liberia would have been different. But then the Bible says the prophet is not respected in his own country. And so nobody listened to the old man. The rest is history.
H. Burma family at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He referred to the April 14 Rest riot as tactical gamble because elections were being held or were up next in 1982. And everybody was, in his words, everybody was trying to show their power, that they have the masses in their possession. And they from Moja didn't want to sit to see that all the accolades would have been given to Bacchus Matthew of PAL if the Toba government had agreed to listen to Bacchus and others, or were forced to listen to Bacchus and others. But yes, at the end of the day, yes, the Toba government bowed down. The rest price was now increased to $26. This is an ELBC News.
The evening news is read by Ivan Fisk. In the headlines, the President, Dr. Talbot, today announced that after a thorough study of the rice situation,
Government has decided that the price of rice will remain at $22 per a 100-pound bag in the interest of the consumer, and that government will find means of subsidizing the rice price in the interest of the local farmer. More pledges of support to the government and regrets over the weekend violent demonstrations are coming from counties with Luba and Bofa appearing on the list today. The Defense Commission of the AAU is meeting this weekend to consider setting up an inter-African intervention force and give concrete military assistance to frontline states. The President today announced that following a comprehensive study of the rice situation by committees, government has decided that the price of rice will remain at $22 for a 100-pound bag. At the same time, it said government would explore means by which it would subsidize the price of rice bought from the local farmer to encourage him to produce more. Announcing these decisions at a cabinet meeting along with the executive committees of the House of Representatives and the Senate, the President said the move was in line with his previous pronouncement that the interests of both the consumer and the producer of rice would be considered. Dr. Tory also declared at the meeting that in fact his government was continuing to find means by which the present price of rice would be reduced, and was also continuing its efforts to increase salaries of low-income people to cope with the high cost of living as has been the case in the past.
The Toba government, the rice price will not be increased. It will stay at $22. And those producing the local food will be subsidized to encourage more production. This is in 1979. This year is 2024. How many years back? 35 years plus. Where is Liberia? We'll stay importing rice. No subsidy for those who are into local production. It is good that I'm hearing through the Minister of Agriculture that President Boakari is so keen on rice subsidy, especially for those who are involved in the production of the staple food on home soil. April 14, 1979. This we forget. Arise to take your place in the Committee of Nations. April 14, 1979. Where were you? State of the Nation, setting the agenda for national renewal. Your humble servant is at controls. My producer is out and about. So we begin taking calls right now. Where were you? This caller is on the line. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, Christopher. This is Jacob Pally.
Jacob Pally, a Liberian journalist who is now serving in public relations at the Ministry of Commerce. Am I correct?
You are quite correct, Chris.
Let's hear you, Jake. Long time no see.
Yes, man. Thank you for the program. The topic is timely. You know, we have to keep reflecting on where we are coming from as a country so that we guard ourselves against what we do for the betterment of our country. But to speak briefly, during April 6th, I was living in Doe community.
No, Chief, we transition from April 6th and we discuss it April 12th. April 14th, sorry. This is April 14th, yeah.
Oh, April 14th, I mean, I was innocent, but I think before the history, what happened wasn't really good here. That's what I can say.
So the question is, did we learn any lesson? If we learn lesson, how are we practicing it so that we can move forward as a country?
Yes, I think the lesson we learned is that we should be mindful of how we do our advocacy. You know, advocacy in the context of people saying, firebrand and going the extra mile that will lead to destruction of properties and life, I think is not really good, because if you reflect on the April 14th situation, we were children. I was living in Grand Chile at that time. I was, a very small boy, but at least we follow the history. So I think the lesson we learned is that whenever we have issues, it is advisable we address them through the most appropriate means. I know under the Constitution, people have the right to comment on issues that affect them, but I think we should do that with more caution so that it doesn't break off back to where we're trying to come from. That's what I can say, Christopher.
Thank you so much, Jake Pally. It's good to hear you. This is State of the Nation. I appreciate your participation. Let me take this caller. Caller, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, please.
Yes, let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Tom David from Monrovia.
Yes.
Yeah, let me thank you so much. I've been following you. I'll give you a thinking about the April 14 met me in Joel, at MAGDALENE. And this Professor Mark, he was then the focal person for Team Moja. And sometimes, when you want to meeting, they will call people in the society. They were not open air, but they got their group on campus. But this day before the April 14th, it was Easter time. All were doing vacation, we went back home. The day we were preparing to go back to Sweden, they say all police go running behind people. They say people fighting Morovia or all those kind of things. And then they got in Sweden. I didn't go to Sweden for a week. Because my parents said, I shouldn't go. Until we went back, then when we got there now, there were some people, they put inside, even including the crowd talking about Moembe. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is alive. But they were amazing. Because that time, those things were strange. Protesting against government, talking against government, those were taboo those days. Because the kind of question we had at the time. But the lesson we had to learn is that when you are making public policy as a government, those issues that are so meaningful to the people, you got to listen to them before you take decision on no policy. Like right? We call it political formality, but almost everybody is right in the country. So when you take it aggressive actions, enhancing maybe the productivity in government, but it will take some time. Don't you need education? Don't you need awareness? Then people got to know that no decision you are taking in the next 2-3 years will be self-sufficient. But when you don't do that, they will see that you are against it. So setting public policies that in the center of the people, you have to be mindful as the government.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Tate. Yes.
Good afternoon, Madeline.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1979, the female arrest riot. By then, I was
Call your name,
2
Chief.
years, going
This
to
is
11
production.
years.
Hello.
Living with bypass.
Hello.
Hello.
We're recording this production. Please call your name.
My name is Halfo BK, and I call from Shara Duboro. So, 1979, female arrest riot. By then, I was 10, going to 11. And I was living in the bypass where they get Pastor teenage, and the maternity center now where they got our gender ministry. Behind that hole, there where I was, all I could see as a Monrovia Peking was people running down to pick potato greens to put in the eyes to get the tear gas out of the eyes, and that's why I could see people running away just there looking. Well, what happened? What happened? You know, and my father told me, don't go up there, don't climb that hill. And that's why I could see people running down the hill. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Hello.
Hello, sis Natalie and good afternoon, Uncle Chris.
Yes, sir.
My name is Emmett Hammer, a colleague of Clark City this afternoon. Uncle Chris, let me appreciate you this afternoon and give you a total reflection on what happened 1979 on some of the little Alata. And the question is, what does he have on here? In Alata, what you just played, it was first to be sold for $22. And people fire protests. And today I'm read to the $2 they want 50 kg bag of around
100 pounds. Yes, 100 pounds, 50. Yeah, 100.
And today you get a 50 to the power 50 kg red. It is sold for $7.50. If you do your subtraction, you see $30 is different. And one lesson I will learn out the process. I can tell you for free, but not learn any lesson here. For nothing so now, that's why all the block community. It is time for our government to invest in our culture sector. Because the brother upon me, if I eat rest today, I was just saying that I'm not eating, I'm not putting a green rest no more. So the important thing, I thank God for God, all the person, for all the enough to that. Then you can say agriculture. Then we do doing sustainable farming, we do measure that farming. Put in more money. What the brother put in my commercial a lot of time. Are they fortunate now? No. So I pray our leaders should do everything possible. Then you invest in agriculture. They want to produce what we eat. Well, every now and then we spend $1 million in putting a rest. When I be tested now, we'll take a step as it is. But we hope and pray we can learn those lessons and tell him what give it. It will refresh to all, give us more because it's power more for us. Not even La Brelo, but Rwanda and other countries as well. So we could not be playing this to us. Now I have super reflection and make La Brelo better play. And I will contain that Abraham more cannot be a fool more for rebuke Abraham more and be a successful more for everyone else. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you so much. So if you were to buy 100 pounds now, you'll be buying at $35. $35. 100 pounds. The half one is $17.50. Liberia, we protested for $26. Where are we? We are at 35. And all of these 35 are all imported. Where are we? The last time we went to CHAP, Community of Hope, symbolic rest harvest ceremony. Most government officials invited there did not turn out. The Deputy Minister of Agriculture was there. The representative for this district was there. Action Aid was there. I was there. Magdalene was there. Mr. and Mrs. Bimba Senior was there. Were there, sorry. And Pastor Bimba was there. He was the host. We want to talk and ask that we produce rice, but nobody wants to. All senior government officials have invited, only very few attended. Let me take this caller. Ibe Plaki.
Yes,
good afternoon.
One thing for responding or answering my call.
Oh, I've never answered a call before.
No, but it's a privilege using your personal number.
I mean, Ibe, you are sounding too humble, man.
It's a privilege, but we be humble.
You know. I understand. I understand, Uncle. I understand.
1979, we were just at a year old, so we can't explain anything that happened. But I just want to debunk the perception that April is not a good month for Nigeria. I think it's wrong. We have passed so many Aprils with a lot of good things happening in April. You understand? So April back then, those days used to be bad. I was April 14, April 12, April 6. But besides that, all other April have been very good April to like. So I just want to erase that perception that April has not been a good month for like.
But you agree? Sorry, you agree that no month recorded tragic moment in our history as compared to April.
Yeah, so that was 7 years ago. So we passed that. We can continue to be pessimistic. April was a very devastating era or month, in the year. But we have Sarah April. So April, a lot of good things happening. There was some concession agreement that happened in April. There was some good things that happened in April. So it has been a long time going. So we are grateful that the dark days came and the dark days passed. But I think we have learned sufficient lesson, and I want to really commend you for this production, this document. We haven't learned 25 kg rice, and those days we were buying $22. I listened to the report from the LBS for a 50-pound kg.
No, 100 pound. Yes.
So now 25 kg is being sold for less than $20. So when you subtract that, like I said, it's just $13 different. So where are we going? We continue to give subsidies. And we have very large area. The last time I checked, $11 million was collected and put in somebody's pocket and said was something that $11 million from the just immediate past government. They said they were putting $11 million to subsidize rice. Where is it today? That was a joke, a very big joke. And those things did not help us. Yeah, we today, 34 pounds, yes, we still talking about importing rice. When we get loaf accountant that used to be the bread basket, loaf accountant say, yeah. We say got Nima accountant, we say got Paul accountant. Those were the things when Joseph Barker was Minister of Agriculture, when cooperative, when rice, when loaf accountant was producing.
Okay, Chief.
Our people in Lofa were self-sufficient. We need to go back to those days, the cooperative. We need to invest in the different cooperative, so we can be self-sufficient. And I want to thank you for bringing this. We keep reminding ourselves. In fact, November 12th will come on 1985. So we remind ourselves so we can repeat those vices that brought us to where we are today.
November 12th, you come on.
No, I mean, you can bring the document.
November 12th. That means one whole year. I'll just be saying I am waiting for November 12th.
Future, there will be new opportunities. God did not bring you this far to leave.
Thank you.
As He taught you how to swim to let you drown.
Wait, November 12th.
Thank you. The one weekend on me.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the last one before we go to. We'll take the last one before we go to.
Take it from here.
Okay, take yours. I'll take this.
Yeah, Bobby Blair, I'm waiting for your call. Hello.
For taking my call. This is Slake calling from Mahdiga County. And hello to Chris. I thank you both so much for this program today. As a matter of fact, I didn't hear it all, but I've been waiting for it. I was into something and kind of missed it a little bit. But in 1979, rice price, I don't know if it was reasonable or not, but people could afford it. This is where my drawback is. Liberia has been in existence for a very long time. $11 million just to make up for some sort of an error to buy rice. I believe it's ridiculous. All of that money, if you ever kept a portion for a little while, you can be able to afford these machines, these agricultural machines, like they do in Mali and stuff like that. And we can be having farms. Rice farms can be made in every single county. I don't know which county that cannot produce rice. So we were fine with food. Local county was the breadbasket. Something went wrong somewhere, and we still don't understand. It seems like even though our country is not so bad off, we can still make it. We got the right kind of president right now, and I'm happy for that. But on the other hand, though, Chris, I believe that everybody should remember how bad or how far backwards Liberia's gone, and stop talking about this division, come together and move Liberia forward. We'll do well. Liberia can make it, and I'm sure Liberia can make it. I support the agenda of the arrest, whatever it means. I support it, and I'm quite sure we can go in the right direction from here. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, you can take yours.
Okay. Hello?
Oh, I'm supposed to take it?
Yeah. Hello? Yes, sir. Okay.
I remember 1979, I was within 16 years of age, and I was attending the Bullshit Elementary Junior High School right there on Jamaica Road. I remember I was the principal then of that school. And my family now remember my uncle that was little, he was also a police officer. So we were living in that looking down. So now, when I not crying, my uncle did not go out that day, but then we get in the yard, people who were doing the shooting, passing through our yard, we've been arrested and that's the open and right there. The thing, that we didn't go out, but before we did went out now, we got police over all the supermarket, all the area was with them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, the last one.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm pleased of Esther Boy according to story.
Okay.
April 14, I was bored, living on the old road to the specific Cabra estate. And I started business with Joba Market, where in the morning we saw police coming from where they call Charles Market, demonstrating, forces to other things and the team. Were arrested, killed some people, and so we're caught in the white part of police. They drove us towards Congo time.
Oh.
You slept?
Yeah, he slept out. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take this musical break once again and prepare to come back. Of course, the last but not the least, April 12th, that is. You all know what happened April 12th. We are about to come to the...
Yeah.
Yes, you want to take what?
Yes. I think with regards to what we are seeing here, Maka is suggesting this. He wants the SELLEE mapping that talks about mandatory where government officials, those appointed officials can have a farm. It should be mandatory. That's why we, with regards to what,
okay,
yes,
all right.
so maybe we could
we'll interspice it.
Yeah, to
we'll interspice it. Okay, so let's take this musical break. When we come back, we go to April 12th with all the voices lined up, and listeners are advised, or discretion is advised, because some of the audio are horrific to listen to, but we have to. And this is State of the Nation. We are Chris and Magdalene bringing you vivid analysis or documentary on where we found ourselves in April, years back. So this one, we take this break to be back. When we come back, it's April 12th. It's April. It is April. So we'll bring this one down with time fast spent 442. We have to work within time. So the build up to April 12 was April 14, 1979. What led to April 12? April 12 According to New York Times, army enlisted men charging rampant corruption in Liberia staged a coup today in which President William R. Tubman Jr. was killed and replaced as head of state by a 28-year-old sergeant, Samuel Kanyado. April 12th. April 12th. What really happened? Deacon Carlo, an elderly statesman who was then held at Poststacket, gave a vivid account to the weeks leading to the military coup. As a matter of fact, he shared the prison with the head of power, Chief Gabriel Bacchus, or that's Gabriel Bacchus Matthews, at the Poststacket. He tells the Truth and Reconciliation Commission the actual story leading to the overthrow that night.
April 11, that week, begin. The week of April 12th, the tension that was in Poststacket, they have raised the level of torturing. And so, when we came on the president, though, then they started to say the president was, we didn't know the president was going someplace, and they said they were going to kill these power people, April 4th. We didn't know all of that. But begin just that beating, that torturing, we knew we were dead. We knew we were dead. And then we went to sleep. April 11, 1980. Around 3 o'clock that morning, somebody spoke Sapo from the PHP side. You guys know PHP? You been there too? PHP. You know, the opposite of the football field, Anthony Tottenham Stadium. They call that place the PHP. They're behind the Poststacket. Somebody yelled from the PHP side in Sapo that on the back of it. And there was a voice. So Matthew was in room 8. I was in room 13. And we shared, you know, we got in, we night each other place, and you know, I don't think they knew what they were doing. They're putting me next to Matthew. They were just putting some bombs, you know, waiting to die. You know, they were just putting them there. So I told Matthew, I said, I heard Sapo, the president, may his soul rest in peace. Gabriel first word was, Carlo, play the militia, then we do what? I said, okay. But I hear outside there, people say they can't over. So we decided to plant our ears to the floor to see if we get sound, you know, movement. And then boom. Then somebody yelled that they had killed Charles Reddy, who was head of the Executive Marshal Battalion. Boom. Boom. Then Mr. Queer, Chair Kipo, They started their Holy Ghost business. They started praying. Yeah, no, the chief of court himself, he said, you're shut up. You know who finna taking the coup, you're comfortable, you're praying. Shut up. The place went quiet again. And then people started yelling, the dead, the died, all kind of story. But when you eat post stop it, you don't know whether it's, and I talking about 90-degree sun. You don't know whether it's 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. That's how terrible the place was. And when if they believe you on the bad side, they put you in interview. You don't see, you don't recognize anything. Post-it. About 6 o'clock that day, that morning, Larry Butty, a member of the new group, I didn't know his name then. He saw you yelling, crying, sinking, and they broke into post-it. They broke into post-it to get us out of the post-it. Larry Butty, who was in charge of that group that broke into the post-it to free us, because the word at that time was that some people will come to the prison and they will spare us. And so General Wesson sent Larry Butty to the prison to get out of there quick. Just in case there was a counter coup, so we will not be there. And so that was a preoccupation. The first work that they wanted to do was to get us out of post-it. And you know, when they put us in post-it, they cut your hair. You know, and not now that bald, you know, we have plenty hair, and they cut your hair this way. They cut your hair this way. They put rolls into your hair so you'll be looking like a common criminal. You know. And here, well, the guys that you call roles or, you know, murder were treated better than us. All because we were playing with the privileges of the ruling class. We have violated a cardinal principle in revolutionary justice, or in the justice of tyranny and dictatorship.
Yes, in the beginning.
Okay, so that's Deacon Carlo at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or the Bata Boy. That's why he heard PHP. Then he whispered to Bacchus Matthew, he said, the kid turban. Bacchus said, oh man, where these socials getting all this sophistication from? You imagine you're in jail, you still. Then subsequently, fast forward, they're released by some of those who staged a coup. They're expecting a counter coup. And if that had happened, I don't think any Pal or Moja person would have survived. The reason for the April 12 coup was corruption. Corruption. According to the coup plotters. But Charles Taylor at the Hague defended himself, gave his own account of how President Toba was executed.
On the 8th floor of the executive mansion. Now, I know that place because I lived up there myself. What General Kurumba and the main killer of Toba explained, it was a young man that actually shot him. The presidential, the 8th floor is the family living floor of the president. It is very, very secured. All of the glasses up there are bulletproof glasses. The doors are sealed. So when the president enters, there's the living room, his bedroom, his wife's bedroom, the entire area. Once he enters, it is secured. I'm told by Joe Kwomba after the firing started, and quite frankly, it's a very sad scenario. Most of the soldiers at the presidency that were guiding the president fled because their friends were staging a coup. They were all together, so they just didn't budge. They go upstairs and they actually have to knock on the president's door after he had apparently called around the different stations. No one answered. He got up, got dressed, because the body of Talbot was still dressed, fully dressed in a white suit. He got up, got dressed. They knocked on the door. They kept knocking on the door, and he opened the door because they could not get in. Like I say, that area is secured. You cannot enter unless the president inside opens the door. And the first gentleman, I'm told by Kwomba, there's a young man called the late Nelson Toe, T-O-E, Nelson, like in Nelson. The last name is Toe, like in Toe. He fired the first shot, to be followed by others, including a gentleman called Harrison, that's Harrison, Penny. President Talbot was killed.
So that's Charles Taylor at The Hague testifying, defending himself against war crime in Sierra Leone, but had to mention some of the happenings in Liberia. We're moving gradually. So we will now go to one of the closest friends to Samuel Doe. Samuel Kalunko Luo appeared at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and gave a vivid account of the last-minute preparation to the coup that took Talbot's life.
I think together who led the coup. Well, according to the information I got, I was not in Monrovia when the coup took place. Yes. But still, I got some information. Robert Zuo, the late Robert Zuo, is there. He was the armed room personnel mansion. When they were organizing the coup that they armed in mansion that they wanted to use, that day he told the people he was cleaning the arms being too dirty, and he was cleaning the whole place because he was there for a whole day until in the evening. So each time they come and say, "But Robert, why are you being here for long?" He said, "This place is too dirty, so I got to." So he cleaned it. Then in the evening, time for them to go to the mansion, some of them don't want to go. So according to what I heard, someone told them, if any of you refuse to go, I think I will cause people to know that we're going to do this. That's the time they all, because they started from BTC, he said, every one of you people got to go before me so we can go to the mansion. They passed to the back of the mansion and climbed on the fence and got in. And when they got there, the big coming was the officer of the day at that time. So when they got there, he the one who led them from floor to floor. He will be the first to go and tell the security, put down your arm. And whosoever doesn't put down his arm, you'll be killed. But you know, we Liberian people, we are afraid of those things there. So they were right away put down from first floor to the floor where President was living. And then we got there one a lieutenant. He's a fellow young man. I'm forgetting his name. He was at President door as security. So when they got there, they told him to give his arm. He took his pistol. He wanted to shoot him.
Okay, so that's Kalukolu at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. You see the build-up. This is the coup that's taking place. Several government officials are rounded up, and a court-martial board, a kangaroo court, is set up by the People's Redemption Council, and these government officials are being tried for corruption, and the list goes on and on. This audio, we are advising you, listeners' discretion is advised in this audio, as some of the sounds there are not palatable for your hearing, and this is a disclaimer. So this happens to be our last audio on this production, as time is fast spent.
From 1980.
Wow. Wow. Oh my God.
Okay, so that's it. You got it right. You got it right. The last audio leading to the closure of this production. And we're sorry if you got hurt by the audio. In my opinion, the journalists, the ELTV Action News of folk that did the commentary was completely out of order. In journalism, you are trained to change your tone in a horrific environment or seeing what's happening. But maybe he was doing it for his life. Everybody knows what happened to Charles Bayer eventually. J. Nicholas Podia, who granted the interview, eventually died when Samuel Doe arrested him and executed him on grounds that he was planning subversive activities to come and overthrow the government. Thomas Wesson equally was collected, tried, and executed. Thomas Konkwa fled. He came back to remove Doe, but then the coup failed. He was also executed. The list goes on, and I am not aware. Now, I saw one member of the PRC, then in the 52nd legislature, but I'm told he passed off now. I don't know any member now still alive. But the rest is history. Liberia has come of age. Liberia has come of age. We deserve better. And you know, some of the people who orchestrated all of these in our common patrimony, some of them have been paid back with lucrative jobs, while their victims remain in their grave to wait for that great waking up morning when the trumpet is blown. Some of them use their purchasing power to still subvert or subdue the weaker ones, as if we haven't had April 6, April 14, and April 12. May the souls of those who were victimized and eventually killed through these moments, periods of our national existence, rest in perpetual peace. We'll take a break and return shortly. So we should take a break. All right.
I think we should
just open the line. We can take 3 because we're actually out of time. You can take 3 or 4 calls.
Bobby Blair.
Yes. So because myself, I'm emotional right now. They were executed for corruption, but on the day of the coup, Toba briefcase disappeared. I don't know whether we should call that corruption. Quickly, let's hear you. Let's hear you, Chief. We're out of time, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. I listened to Chris talk about the journalist was out of order, and I was present at the post circuit when the late Richard Herring order was brought in. And at that time, Chris, there's nothing that journalist could do. You had to sound, the sound of those guys. My late brother Fred Dean used to be a captain working along with Thomas Cuerva. We all used to live in the Barry BTC when the coup took place. And you will not believe it, next door, she was next door to us. She never believed our husband, Samuel Doe, was part of the coup. Only for one of the bodyguards to go there and told her, say, Samuel Doe, your husband has killed Tobo, and she broke up in tears. She never believed it, that her husband would do such. But at the end of the day, they have to leave the barrack, and she moved to the mansion with him. So you ask whether a member of the PRC is still alive. I was told that one of them called Jeffrey Batu is still alive, whether he's in the States or back in Liberia. Until that Jeffrey Batu, one of the PRC members, is still alive. But I was in the Barry BTC when the coup took place. As I said earlier, with my late brother Fred Dean, captain from the communication department of the Armed Forces of Liberia. So that's
thank you. Thank you. It's good I've got an eyewitness. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
if you had sent us this information earlier, we would have made you a guest on the show. But thank you for giving that vivid account of what happened. I will take the last caller from this end. Hello. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, but okay. This last portion of the entire episodes, if you just listen to it, our country will have a very, very ugly history that it wouldn't need more intervention for us to be saved. Because just for killing putting his brother one person and God declaring a vagabond, then you look at what a number of family people and just kill them for the reason and you came back, you even did what you declare that it is the reason that these people dying for. And then it just continue. So what is the aspect that they use at the times?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Time is fast spent. We can't take any more calls. And we have to go. What a wonderful production. If we can't praise us, we will praise ourselves. And it was wonderful. We took 3 weeks, 2 hours every day to search for all these sound bites. And then here we are. We are living. This is April again. April This is April again. We use April to reflect. This is how we go home this edition of State of the Nation. Maggie, thank you so much.
Yes, the very big thank you goes to you. God first goes to you for your tireless efforts in you know bringing up new ideas every time, and this is actually important because history will always be there to remind us about our past and that we should not go back doing the same thing. But is it what President Talbot was killed for? Is it are we still experiencing the very same thing? Rice price. We cannot feed ourselves up to now, and so many other things are going on. But have we really actually learned lesson? Well, the question is to you. You can answer it the very way that you feel you can. So that is it. I want to say thank you to all those of for the support. You coming there?
Yeah, so
Okay, sir.
that's how we go home on this edition. That's how we go home on this edition of the special production as we acknowledge the intervention of these individuals, following individuals: Orange Liberia Data Service, Emma Hammer Forest Bureau Chief Financial, Johnson Batoma team member, Daniel Sone team member, Kopo Sanga team member, O'Neill Roberts researcher, Magdalene Findasa senior producer, and your humble servant executive producer.
Wow, the chief financier.
Thanks to all of you who listened and participated, and again to the management of Truth FM 96.1. The State of the Nation has been honored to have led this production and air it. Thanks for listening.
So yesterday I fasted.
People feel with our passage.
Like a person to travel plus. It's far for the
No, man, I expected you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Can you pull it out?
Yeah.
Tell me they laugh, you know.
Thank you.
Tell me they want it. Yeah, check your boyfriend, you know. Yeah, check how many months.
You said what is?
Yeah, check how many months, eh?
Put the pool. Send me on. Yeah. Come on, lad. I don't know how to know the money to get it. I had to play for. Listen. And the program, State of the Nation, returned
tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. I wish some quicks in Magdalene, and we'll be back on this radio for another presentation of the program, State of the Nation. Well, folks, the time check on the clock, it is exactly 12 minutes past 5 o'clock. And I think it's a very good evening. Welcome again to our broadcast, which is joining us. It is something I'll bring you on this program right here. The traffic plus here on Truth 96.1, which is going to run us up to 6 o'clock here this evening. So let's see how best we can go to our music cue and officially welcome you to the program on this radio.
So it's turning on live with it.